Evening, guys. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone's having a great time and everyone's ready for the season. I see a lot of people just showing up. That was amazing just to see everybody pop up. I'm sure you guys are excited for the new Dynamo season coming up with a new head coach, new faces on the field, and hopefully we can have a little fun this week with the kind of a fan fest virtual due to the ongoing situation we all know. But hey, once again, welcome, guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. My name is Cesar Procel, as Edgar said it. Usually I'd be doing this in Spanish, but this is Houston, so we gotta switch it up. So if you guys have questions in Spanish, English, Italian, Portuguese, don't ask me those, but I'll try to accommodate as much as you can. Feel free to send the questions over to Edgar and Fafa and Michael and Marcelo and everybody else that's going to be joining us will be able to answer your questions for you tonight. And hopefully we have a great time. So without further ado, let's get ready. So just a little recap of what's going on this week. This whole week we have interactive events. That's what we're calling it. Interactive events with players, coaches, Dynamo alumni, and this is all part of KickOff week. So you guys make sure you stay tuned to check your Dynamo newsletter so you can be part of it. Also check the Facebook page and all the social media with Houston Dynamo. After this Q&A with these guys at 7:30 on the Facebook Live, Glenn Davis will have also Tim Parker, Stephen Clark, Corey Baird, and Adam Lundquist available for you guys to watch and maybe ask questions on Facebook Live as well. So with that said, I can either go down the list or you guys, if you have any questions you want to ask, go ahead and send them over to Edgar and we can get started. But I want to go ahead and introduce the players that are with us today. Let's start off. I'm just going to shout them out in the order I see them on the screen. So first I see Fafa, delantero, el artista. He's here with us tonight. And Fafa, how's it going? How's the offseason treating you? I know you were in Italy for a little while. How are you feeling back in Houston?
No, off season was great, man. I did my normal traveling. I spent my time between Miami and Italy, and then I came to Houston for a little bit. Got to spend family time, work on some music, just rest up a bit, and just kind of stay low key and get ready for the new season coming in. So I got here ready for preseason, and it's been great so far. Some new faces, some faces gone, but ready to rock and roll for the new year.
Miami and Italy sounds like a really hard life, man.
Horrible, man. Had a great time, man.
So what do you do? How do you stay in shape in the off season? I mean, you're in Miami. I can understand you go to the beach, you run. When you go to Italy, all that food.
That's usually a problem, but when I go to Sardinia, man, when I'm in Milan, it's a little bit harder. When I'm in Sardinia, it's kind of nice because there's a lot of mountains and beaches there too. So I get great food and I get a nice natural run if I want, or the beach access or whatever I want over there. It's kind of like it's almost like second home. And then Miami, obviously, the weather is good all year round, so I can get as much training as I need to. So both sides are perfect, man. And then I got to come here a few times. It was mainly just to relax, see my girl, and chill out. I didn't do much training in Houston. Most of it was done either back home or in Italy.
Excellent. We also have Michael Nelson with us, goalkeeper. He's hometown boy from Katy, Texas. Mike, how's it going? How's life treating you? How was this end of the year and this beginning of a new year with you?
Yeah, life's good. My off season wasn't spent jogging through the coastal mountains of Italy, apparently, like Papa was. But I had a lot of time to spend with family, friends, rest up, train, get prepared for the season. Got married about 2 weeks ago, so that was a nice punctuation there at the end of the off season. But yeah, excited. Like Fafa said, we've got some new faces and a lot of optimism in the building, and the first couple of weeks have been really good, and we've got a lot of momentum going forward. So it should be a great year.
Excellent, good to hear. So we also have Marcelo Palomino on the call with us back in Houston. Marcelo, how was your tour up north?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you guys for having me. And yeah, as you mentioned, it was really nice up there. It was really good, and it was a great experience. And overall, I'm happy that that it went through, and that now that I'm at the end of it, I see it as a positive thing. And I would have done it again if I went back in time per se. But yeah, I mean, it was really good. I'm ready to get working here and to start a new season.
Excellent. We also have Daniel Steres here with us. He's the new kid on the block. Daniel, how's it going? How's life? how's Houston treating you so far? I know it's just a little bit different from LA.
Yeah, a little different. Interesting weather to start my time here. Not exactly what I expected. Thought it'd be a little hotter, but I'm sure I'll get a little bit of that as we go into summer.
Oh yeah, you'll definitely you'll feel the Houston heat. Don't worry about that. Houston, make sure you understand that there's only 2 seasons, winter and summer. That's it. There's no in between over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and read up some questions to you guys from the chat. Let's see. I'm just go from the top. And whoever wants to jump in on this one, feel free to do so. From Philip. Philip, how's it going? Good to see you. How do the Dynamo plan to be competitive this season? Anyone want to take that?
If you want to jump on that, or you want me to take it?
I don't mind. Yeah, I'll do this one.
I'll split it with you. You go ahead.
All right. No, I think we have, like I said before, we have some new faces. Obviously, it's kind of a whole new staff, and there's a lot of new energy going on. So the biggest thing right now, I think, is just to mesh all our ideas together, our talents together, and just blend. I think the most important thing right now is getting to know each other, working our butts off early on. It's gonna be a long year, so we have to get things sorted out early on and understand what coach wants from us on the pitch. Once we get that done, I think we have a lot of good talent in the group to have a very successful year.
Yeah, I'll run off that as well. I think we've been focusing hard on the culture aspect of it here these first 10 or so days. I think we've been working really hard in training, but also trying to establish that off the field connection and kind of that unspoken trust that you need to be successful. I think knowing that you can count on the guy to your left, right, behind you, and in front of you is a really important part of it. And then, throughout the season, I think we're gonna try to play a lot more with the ball. I think we're gonna be a bit more possession oriented than we have been in the past. And I know, from experience, when we train here in the summer, it's hot as heck. So if we can keep the ball and make teams run around our big field in the summers trying to get the ball back, we're going to wear them out and hopefully be able to exploit that, make the field really big, be difficult to defend, and score a lot of goals in the process.
Just to follow up on that, the culture talk. I know it's been a big topic for Coach Nagamura. Tell me a little bit about what that looks like, what that change of cultures looks like within the Houston Dynamo.
I think it starts with accountability and communication amongst each other. I think we've set that tone early that we're gonna hold each other to a high standard, not necessarily let things slip through the cracks and let the only person who can hold people accountable be the coach or be management, whoever that may be. I think we've got to be able to look each other in the eye and hold each other accountable to a high standard and lift the guy next to you and expect him to do the same. It's kind of an iron sharpens iron mentality. And I think a lot of successful teams and teams that sustain success over the course of the season, because it is a long year. I mean, it's 8 months, 34 regular season games. Like there's going to be the ups and downs. But I think when you've got that mental fortitude and people can count on the guy next to them and know that, no one's going to let them slack off either. I think that's a massive part of it. And having that mentality for the entire season is going to be massive.
So I know Daniel is new to the team and Marcelo is just now coming back. They're asking, what's the vibe like on the team? If Marcelo and Daniel want to take this one, what's the vibe like on the team? What's with the difference in languages, difference in cultures? How's everyone communicating thus far?
Dan, you want to start or me?
Yeah, I can start that off. Yeah, I mean, so far so good. I came in here, everyone was very welcoming. And it feels like there's a good group in here of guys that, all want to work hard. We all have kind of the same goal. And, obviously with a whole new staff and everything coming in besides the players, everyone's trying to figure out, how we're going to all work together, what the culture is going to be like. So even the guys who have been here for a while are probably adjusting to some of the things that the coaching staff is doing. So it's been a good start for me. I mean, I think there's a really good group of players in here, good attitudes and stuff like that. So excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, kind of going off of that. I mean, he's completely right when he says that we're all kind of adjusting to it. It's a new coaching staff for everyone. So there's going to be things that, we'll learn together. And kind of going off of what Mike said, building that culture is something, new that we're trying to build as a team. So everyone's going through that together as well. And any like language barriers or are quickly kind of broken down. There's a good mix of different cultures in the group, but the guys, I know they make it a point to try to learn English early, and whether it's just a couple words, we still communicate. And I know I talked to Seba. He's only been here for about Ferreira, that is. He's only been here for about maybe 2 weeks, and he's already about to start taking English classes. So I think there's a big effort being made from everyone to make that connection stronger, and to try to become a stronger unit.
So you bring up Sebas Ferreira, obviously coming from Paraguay. And I mean, I guess we can go down the board on this one, starting with Fafa. What was your first impression with Sebastian? How much did you know of him prior to him coming to the Dynamo? The conversations you've been having with him, what's it like since you guys are in front of the team? What's the dynamic like with him?
No, it's cool. Obviously, I'm an attacking player, so it's important that we get on the right page from the first day. We have a few people in common. I didn't know much of him before meeting him, but we have a few buddies in common. Rafa Costa from back that I played with years ago in Italy, and then Tito, who played for Atlanta. I think they played together in Paraguay. So we've had nice talks. We've talked about the city, trying to get him settled in as soon as possible, talking about where to find a home, what steps to take when coming to the city, and just small talk. But he seems to be adapting and adjusting just fine. My job as a teammate is just here to help him get adjusted, as a lot of the guys did for me when I first got here. So it's going to be a smooth transition. I think it's a very welcoming locker room. Since last year, it's been like that. So we want to continue that part of the culture, obviously, and continue to grow it into, like we said before, a winning culture. And I think Seba could be a part of helping that.
Anybody just want to check in on that? Mike, Marcelo, Daniel?
Yeah, I think I've been impressed with his willingness to kind of do the dirty work as well. Everyone knows he's a very talented player with the ball, and he's got a very quick trigger with it at his feet too. As a goalkeeper, I've noticed that too. He doesn't really need much of a wind up to get a shot off. Like, he can just be on the dribble and the ball's off his foot quickly. But been impressed with his willingness to hunt balls down in the channels and to tackle and press. And I think that's a really important thing that he brings, kind of that dual threat ability to be a defensive kind of pain in the butt for the other team, and then also be really dangerous with the ball. I think's a really important combination for us to have up there.
Marcelo and Daniel, so you guys get to play with some veterans on the team, like Darwin Seren and I'm missing this name right now, but anyway, like people like Darwin Seren, Darwin Quintero and Seren, that are still on the team and that are going to be part of the team coming soon out. What's it like for veterans to mix up with the new guys, with the younger players? What's that dynamic like? Is there like almost like hey, uncle, help me out here? Is there some sort of advice? Is there like a locker room godfather per se?
I think for me, I'm more of the young guy, and then Daniel will be more of the new guy, so it'll be a little different. But for me, being the young guy, is definitely nice to have those guys, in your ear, telling you, what to do, what not to do. Of course, they've been through. They were my age once, so they have the insight on what works, what doesn't. And when you have those kind of guys with that kind of experience, behind you, telling you those things, it's really helpful, and it's definitely helped me grow a lot. And I'm going to continue to look for them for advice and anything like that.
Now, Daniel, you're coming from LA, where there's a tight-knit soccer fandom per se. What's the reception you received from the Houston fans? You coming from LA with Chicharito and all those guys. What's the vibe for you like over here so far? He's so impressed with you guys.
I mean, there you go. The fans along with the team, everyone's been super welcoming. But what's that?
No, go on.
Everyone's been super welcoming. But it's been interesting coming over, just getting used to this city up here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Just fine now, Daniel. Thanks. So,
Hello?
so question from Richard. It says, we plan on going to Washington, D.C. to watch you guys battle. Any spots my son and I can visit in Washington, D.C.? And going off of that, outside of Houston, what is the best town for food? I mean, I think this is going to be a fight between Fafa and Daniel over here because LA and Houston, I mean, food.
Fafa's Mr. International. So if you need to know a food spot in any city, somehow he knows somebody everywhere. So I'll let you take this one off.
Oh, in DC, there's a place. I'm shooting a blank right now. If I do remember this name, it's right in the center. It's a Cape Verdean background kind of restaurant. It's a chain. They have it in all over London, but it's the best chicken. It's the best chicken you'll have out there. Once I get the name, if you DM me, whoever asked that question, I'll remember it in the next. I have the sauce. Nando's. James. Thank you, James. Nando's is the spot. And I got some of the sauce in the fridge. It's amazing.
Hey, let me say something off of that real quick. There is a spot that tastes really similar. I've had it. There's a spot here. It tastes really good. It's really good. It tastes really similar as well. It's called the Peri Peri Factory.
Yes,
the sauce is the
very similar to Nando's.
Sauce, right? Yeah. So
yeah, it's very agreed.
They have one here similar. So if y'all want that.
Was the other part of the question Houston food?
Yeah, Houston. Well, they wanted. Yeah, well, they wanted to know about Washington D.C., but they also wanted to know any. It says going off of that, outside of Houston, what is the best town for food? And yeah, that's pretty much it. They wanted to know the spots they can visit in Washington. So that was good. That was good. And let's see. There's another question from someone's asking if there's any new guy traditions. Are we gonna go hear Daniel sing and Seva sing it anytime soon? Did Marcelo have to swing?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I hope for everyone's sake, I don't have to sing. Let's go with that.
You either gotta sing or tell a joke.
Yeah, usually the new guys, it's a performance of some kind. So the most common one is singing, but we do allow some wiggle room where if you are a magician, you think you've got a good card trick, if you think you're funny and you've got a good joke, any performance between 30 seconds and a minute. If you tell a joke, though, it's got to be very funny. If you tell a bad one,
laugh.
Yeah, Danny, if you tell a bad one.
While we're here, what do you got for it? What are you gonna be doing?
Wait, who?
Oh yeah, I got something prepared up my sleeve for this trip, so I'll let you guys see it when it happens.
All right. We'll take the surprise, brother.
Marcelo, did you have to sing? What was your song?
Oh man, Michael will tell you I had to sing like 4 times.
Oh, it was terrible. He sang Ed Sheeran and his voice was cracking like every 5 seconds. Because he was fair, he was maybe 18 at the time. You were young. So
16. I was about 16 at the time. We went to go play RGV for preseason, and that was my first time singing. And then I had a shocker in Orlando for the MLS's back tournament. They made me sing again. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if I caught stage fright. I just couldn't stop laughing. And it was probably one of the worst performances ever seen.
I mean, now it's a good time to redo that performance, You
don't want to hear it, man. You don't want to hear it.
No, it's okay. Yeah,
he also
I'm gonna save you guys that.
He picked a challenging song though. He picked an Ed Sheeran song. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but like you picked a tough one. Most guys will pick like Don't Stop Believing or like Ain't No Mountain High Enough, just something that's like kind of easy that the boys will join in on. But he was like going solo Ed Sheeran and he had a lot of trouble with it, I'll be honest.
What did Griff do, Michael? That was the best one.
Oh, Griff did Living on a Prayer, but he did the instrumental part as well, not just the vocals. Like he started with the like woo 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 and was doing like the reverb sound at the start of it, and everyone was like, what is going on right now? And he did it for like 30 seconds and then kicked in the vocals afterward. But we were all like, my man, you've got to just fast forward through that part.
Just get through the high notes. Just get through the high notes, man. Just keep going. So there's a question from Darby and Brian. This is for Michael. It says, we've grown a lot of defensive depths. If you have to build your preferred backline, who would be there?
Sheesh, that's a tough question. I mean, it'll really depend on kind of the strengths and how we're really trying to play that game. I think we've got a really good blend of center backs in terms of their complementary abilities. I think Daniel's got a really good kind of blend of his athleticism, but also his ability on the ball. And I think Tim and Teenage share that as well. So, I mean, I'm comfortable with any of these guys. I know that our general manager and whatnot have done a good job bringing in players that they think can help the team. And I think any of these guys in front of me are going to do a great job. And I've got full trust in them. So that's kind of my general answer, because I'm not trying to irritate anybody and pick any specifics here, but no, I've got full faith in whoever they put in front of me, whether, at left back, it's Adam or Sam, whether in the middle, it's Daniel, Teenage Tim, so on and so forth. I've got complete faith in all these guys that they can get the job done.
So I got a question for you guys, since all four of you have played in different cities, in different temperatures, different climates. The US is playing tomorrow night with El Salvador up north, real cold. It's been snowing during the training camp. Is it really an advantage for the US team to play at that extreme weather?
You're asking four guys that don't like the cold, so you might get mixed answers here.
And the reason I ask, it's been a controversy because they're saying, well, the US or the hometown team has to take some sort of advantage, right? But when it's that extreme, is it really an advantage for the US team to play in extreme weather like that? Why not play, in the Midwest or somewhere a little warmer?
I'd say just specifically because of fan base. I think historically Ohio's done well for the US. I do recall watching some games when I was younger. I don't remember what year it was that it looked frosty out there and they pulled off a win. A beautiful, I think it was towards the last, I want to remember the opponent too, but it was in the late early 2000s, like 2000, between 2005 to 2000.
I think it was Costa Rica. It might have been Costa Rica.
Was that the game?
I think so.
Somebody correct me if I'm wrong here. But, weather-wise, I don't think that's an advantage for anyone, being that cold. But you have a lot of the guys that are playing in Germany that are used to the cold weather, maybe more so than players from El Salvador. And then you mix that with just the good fan base in Ohio. I think it does have an advantage. Maybe not so much as maybe another city that would have been a little bit fair on the weather side.
So there's David Frankfurt is saying, it was in Colorado versus Costa Rica, and so is Peter. Let's see a message. Who is the team DJ and what's the vibe in the locker room before a training session?
Zarek?
I mean, it kind of depends on the day, right? I mean, I think a lot of mornings Zarek has been on it, right? Zarek's on it a lot of mornings. We kind of pass it around. We don't necessarily have like a set in stone guy who's on the tunes every day. I do know Derek Jones was on the stereo today while we were in the gym and got unanimously voted off of it. So I don't know if he's going to get called back onto that, but he just misread the vibe. Not necessarily bad tunes, but he was just playing stuff that's probably not gym music, and the guys were just not feeling it. But yeah, the locker room, the energy is usually good before training. I think, we play some high energy stuff just to get the morale and the mood high before we go out. But yeah, we have a mix of guys and playing some of Fafa's music. I know he tried to like shamelessly promote himself at the start of this. But Fafa does have some tunes and his voice is all right. I don't know about the amount of auto-tune and whatnot on it, but no, it's pretty good. And I'm excited to hear the real track when it comes out.
Ojalá que
Mike,
llegue el campo.
Mike, back me up here. I've got a good blend of all kinds of music. I go English, I go Spanish, I go, some for the older heads. I got some for the young bucks, myself, Juan, Danny, and all that. I think Mike will tell you that when they put me on, I'm usually, I'm never booed off or anything. Yeah, I'm usually the gym guy.
Ours has got that variety pack. He'll play some stuff that only the 17-year-olds like, but then he'll also keep the old heads engaged by throwing something a little older on.
Thank you, Marcelo.
But answer that, who's the TikTok addicts in the group?
Mars, you would know.
Yeah, that's got to be somebody that's under 21.
Listen, I'll be on. Hey, Memo just got on the wave. He's a little late, but he'll tell you that it's a little more addicting than you would like. But I think I might, I'll take it. I'll take that one. I'm on it a lot. Some informational stuff, some stuff that I'll never need to see and I shouldn't have seen also. But It's a fun little app. I try not to get on it too much. It is pretty addicting, to be honest.
So you've received that one video that says, "Hey, why don't you go take a break and go get some food?" You've been there for 2
No, I've never seen that one. No.
You've never seen that video yet, huh? Yeah, you haven't been long enough. Trust me. I'll send it to you guys later. This a video that comes up and says, "Hey guys, hey, you know, how you doing? Whatever. You know, maybe get up and go get some water, go to the bathroom, go for a walk, you know, come back later, take a break."
We need to pass that. We need to pass
Haven't
that one.
seen that
around.
one.
Yeah, no, I'll try to get it for you, and I'll send it over. Yeah, it's pretty insane. And my friend that sent it to me, I said, "Well, how long were you on TikTok?" She said, about 5 hours. I'm like, yeah, that's so yeah. So question from David: what soccer teams and leagues do you guys follow? Let's start with Daniel. What soccer teams and leagues do you follow?
I'm used to watching EPL, watching Spanish league stuff that's on the main networks, makes it easier for us to watch. I did go over to England when I was younger, so I got to go to some of those games and ended up following like Chelsea and Tottenham a little bit. Getting to you know, get them like their fans, go to the pubs and stuff and watch like I was living there. So I'm not a diehard of any fan, but or of any team, I mean, but you know, I like.
I think that was the end of that.
So given the benefit,
yeah, so
Danny, I've been here a week.
You
so
cut
it
off a little
wasn't
bit, Danny.
He said Houston.
He said Houston. We'll go with Houston. We'll go with Houston on that one. Marcelo, your teams that you follow.
Yeah, I like to kind of have a team in each league type of thing. Kind of keeps me engaged with, you know, world football.
We gotta cut this guy off.
We'll come back to you, Daniel. Don't worry. My number one team that I've supported forever, and you know, will always be my number one, is going to be Real Madrid. We're talking about like world football and that. And then, you know, from the Prem, I'm a Man U guy. From the Serie A, I like AC Milan. Kaká used to be one of my idols growing up. So that's where that one comes from. And then if I went to the Bundesliga, I like Dortmund. And I like the Monaco from the league on. So that's kind of, you know, the teams I support and
Monaco,
how I keep myself engaged with all the leagues.
I don't think I've ever met a Monaco fan. That's cool.
I'm not like a fan, but like if I had to choose a team, you know, I'd choose Monaco to not say PSG or, you know, and they've got
during their 2016 Champions League run, right? That's when you started becoming a fan.
Yeah, Monaco fan. That's what's up, Marcelo.
Appreciate you, Fafa.
How about you, Mike?
Yeah, I there's teams that I like watching play. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm like a huge fan. But yeah, I watch a lot of overseas football. If it's Germany, I'll watch Borussia Dortmund or Bayern Munich or Leipzig. And then in the Premier League, I think the level's so high that if you turn on any game, you're going to see a good game. But obviously watching the top teams like your Cities and your Chelseas and whatnot, they're kind of on a different level. But being able to watch those games is great. And yeah, I'll kind of turn on anything if there's Serie A, Premier League, Bundesliga. I like taking a lot of it in, but I don't necessarily have one team that I support. I know Mars said that the team that has his heart is Real Madrid, which is tough to say on this call right now when we have Dynamo fans on the call. Mars, you might want to dial that one back, but yeah, I think it's always good to watch you know those different brands of football overseas. I think you can learn some things from them and kind of see the new tactical stuff the guys are working on, and it's interesting to watch for sure.
Mike, it's a given that I'm forever orange. You don't see a Real Madrid.
Hey, I'm just making sure I didn't.
Look at the color of that wall and tell me.
Okay.
Look at the color of that wall and tell me I don't bleed orange. Look at my seat. Tell me I don't bleed orange.
All right, fair enough.
Point taken. Now, I mean, Fafa, and I mean for you guys as well. I mean, you guys being professional soccer players, when you watch a game from a different, you know, league, different team, are you watching it as a fan, or do you inevitably just dissect what they're doing? Do you even enjoy it like that, like as a fan anymore?
To be honest, not as the fan side of me kind of it it died away a little while back. When I watch games, it's usually just for the tactical purpose, or I'm watching a buddy of mine play. I usually support a friend, or I'm just watching to see some breakdown. A lot of times we don't have as much time, or at least I don't have as much time to study or watch other games that much anymore. If not, I'm usually trying to figure out what I did wrong or right, or what I could repeat. So I'll watch other games across the world if I can, or footage at least, to see, to see what I can do or how guys get out of certain situations. I think back in the day, player I followed a lot was like Henry, so I became a big Arsenal fan. So some of those things I still try to take in today, but it's kind of hard to still be a fan and work in the same thing. I know guys are able to do it. Me personally, I think the only team that I still can kind of watch with that is maybe Cagliari, because I was there years ago. And then sometimes when River plays Boca or Copa Libertadores, I'll support River still. But apart from that, I don't really have that fan side anymore.
So speaking of being on the fan side, I know, and I saw you post on it today. It's 2 years since Kobe Bryant passed away in that tragic accident. You mentioned that he was one of your idols growing up.
Yeah.
2 years now. What are your thoughts now, and what do you remember the most of, or what did you learn from Kobe Bryant as an athlete yourself?
I'm speaking on it. I think everybody was a huge fan. There were just a lot of similarities I felt in terms of like just growing up that I felt I could relate to him without knowing him. He was, the between the East Coast guy thing, moving to Italy, coming back to the States. There were a lot of things that I understood. Even the area he lived in Italy, I'd been there a million times. And just his attitude and approach towards not just the game, but life period. It was very admirable. I think I'd seen, and this is before his passing, I think I'd seen every interview and video of training session, anything that had Kobe or Allen Iverson attached to it. I've seen it. So I was always a huge fan, and him passing only and seeing how people have reacted across the world, not just in America, just shows what and who he was as a man and as an athlete, and also as a father. It's really tragic. It still hurts, I think, a lot of people today, but I'm glad to have been able to see him live, and also to see the impact he's made on this world.
Awesome answer. So one of the questions is, and this is important because the regular season for the Houston Dynamo starts on February 27th versus Real Salt Lake here at home. And they're asking here, which game are you guys looking the most forward to this season? Let's start with Mike.
Yeah, I think a lot of the guys know that the way that the Texas rivalries start with the addition of Austin, it just gets even more kind of heated each year. I think we all look forward to those games, especially, Fafa being at Dallas before, absolutely loved getting to bury a penalty against them last year. I know that warmed his heart, but no, I think the dynamic in Texas those are always matches you look forward to. Getting to put your stamp on being the best team in Texas, I think, is really important to us, and something we're going to prioritize this year is getting great results in those games against Texas opponents. And then, there's always great games on the road too that you look forward to as well. I think playing at Portland is always a great game with the atmosphere that they have there. Stadium's always loud. It's always a good team, competitive game. I think that's the game people look forward to. I think playing at LAFC is a big game too that a lot of guys get up for. So I think, maybe those games on the road are ones that you're really, really excited to play in. And then, whether it be home or on the road, the games against the Texas opponents are really important too.
Daniel, are you looking forward to playing against the Galaxy this season?
Yeah, first off, can you hear me? Is everything sounding better?
Yeah.
Okay, there
Oh
we go.
man, damn.
We're back in there. Sorry about that. I do apologize, having some issues over here. But yeah, you can bet I'm looking forward to go back to LA and have them come over here to play us. So both LAs, just because all the rivalry I've had. But I'm with Mike on those answers there. I think being the best team in Texas is I don't want to say starting point, but something we really want to pride ourselves on this year, and it'll be fun to see that kind of rivalry, because I've had a different sort of rivalry in LA. So that'll be fun. And then I'm pretty sure New England's coming into town this year. So that'll be nice to have the supporter shield winners come by and see how we kind of compare to them towards the end of the year.
So it says, growing up, did you have someone that you looked up to that will help you take up a career as a professional soccer player? Who was the best? Who gave you guys the best advice growing up and you know, to get you where you are now? And we can start with Marcelo if you want.
Yeah, I think the easy answer for me is my dad. My dad played semi-pro. He played here in Houston for the Hurricanes. I don't know if you're familiar with the team. You must be, yeah. And he started teaching me how to play as soon as I could start walking. So, I mean, ever since then, it was always, he'd always look for any kind of moment, any way he can teach me, any, you know, advice that he can give me. And I just remember going to training with him all the time and doing a bunch of extra work with him and getting a lot of advice from him. So I think he is definitely, you know, one of my idols and someone who I'd say is probably the biggest reason why I'm where I'm at today.
Michael?
Yeah, I think mine's with Mars, where it was my dad, but kind of for maybe a different reason. My dad, nor my mom for that fact, had ever played soccer before. My dad played collegiate basketball and was 6'7". So he was a big guy, and you know, when you're that tall, usually you don't gravitate towards soccer. But when I was young, I played a little bit of everything. Played basketball, football, soccer, played hockey for a little bit. I was just doing anything so that I wouldn't tear up the house, I think. But I remember kind of when it came to the crossing roads, when you're, you know, 10, 11, 12, you sort of have to narrow your path. It's not really possible to play more than two sports really at that point. You got to kind of focus yourself. And he said, you know, while I'd like for you to play basketball because it's what I played at this time, I was still really short. I know I've grown a lot now, but at that age, I was kind of small for my age. But he said, just pursue what you love. That's the thing. It's if you really pick the one that you love, it's not going to feel like a chore when you have to go train. It's not going to feel like a burden when you know, when we mentioned cold games, when you're going out for 25-degree practices and stuff. And I think I've always carried that with me. I genuinely enjoy every day that I get to train, relish each game that we get to play. And I think, you know, that makes getting better exciting. It makes you want to approach training with the mentality to improve each day and do your best to kind of maximize yourself. And it doesn't feel like a burden at all because I love doing it. So I think that message that I got from him has always stuck with me, to embrace each day and just realize how lucky you are and to be doing what you love and just roll with that mentality.
Daniel, question for you. What was it like playing with Zlatan? This is from Bernardo Garcia.
There we go.
Yeah, you knew it was going to happen, right? You knew it was coming,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, you know, I get this one with everyone I come across, so it's all good. No, I mean, for me, it was something special. It was cool, just to be able to see him up close and personal, how he works, the skill and talent he has. Obviously, for me, defender, just being able to kind of compete every day with someone like that, I thought helped make me a better player. Pick up little things here and there of what these guys can do, what I need to do to defend that. So I enjoyed it. You know, he had his moments where he was a real cool, down to earth guy, and he's had his moments where maybe the ego takes over a little bit, that I'm sure you all know of and all have seen. But yeah, I wouldn't change it. You know, I enjoyed having that experience because, I mean, not everyone gets an experience like that in their lifetime. So I tried to take everything I could from it, and yeah, I enjoyed having them.
Awesome. And just to go ahead and let's close up with this question from Abraham Aguirre. Let's go ahead and let Fafa answer this question. So what advice would you give to someone who is looking to advance in soccer, either in college or in league outside of school?
I'd say the best advice is just work hard. I know it sounds cliche, but there's no substitute or shortcut to success in life. Just work your butt off. Believe in yourself more than anything. There's not much else to say. If you work really hard, you really believe in yourself, even when people don't, you give yourself a chance. It's not to say that everything will always work out how you want, but and that's the reality of life. But if you work really hard and you believe in yourself and your talent, and you work 10 times the person next to you, then you give yourself a chance. And I think that's all you could do at the end of the day.
So before we close out, there's two things. I want to remind you guys at 7:30 on Facebook Live, Glenn Davis is going to go back on with Tim Parker, with Stephen Clark, Corey Baird, and Adam Lundquist. So make sure you check that out on Facebook Live. Tomorrow night, there's going to be Instagram Lives with, I think Marcelo's going to be on that Instagram Live tomorrow night as well. And before we go, once again, I'd like to thank everyone for showing up. And once again, I'm Cesar Procella, and I am privileged to join the Spanish broadcast team for Dynamo this season. So I'll be able to, help Danny Mejia with the games on a weekly basis, which I'm very much looking forward to that. And also, I'm gonna throw it back to Edgar Veliz now. I think he's got something for you guys for showing up.
That's right. Thanks everyone for jumping on. Thanks for being Dynamo season members. We have 2 jerseys that we're giving away. We're giving one away to Bernadette Payne, and we're giving the other one away to Richard Padran through this generator that we have. So guys, be on the lookout for an email. You guys will receive your Dynamo jersey, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody at PNC Stadium in a matter of weeks, actually.
Awesome. First game of the season, February 27th. So we'll see you guys there. Thanks again, and I'll see you on Facebook Live in about 10 minutes.